Chapter 3, Encounter with Palaniswami, Visit to Kuruvapuram. The efficacy of constant meditation about Sripada Srivallabha. I resumed my travel from Vichitrapuram only due to the mercy of Sripada Srivallabha. My mind was eager to visit Parameswara in Chidambaram. My travel continued for 3 days in a happy way. I was getting food without asking for it. On the fourth day, I stood at the threshold of a Brahmin's house and begged for food. A ferocious housewife came out of the house and yelled that there was no food. I waited for some time outside the house. The householder came out and said, I am not fortunate enough to extend hospitality to guests and visitors. My wife is a great shrew. When she gets angry, she breaks earthen pots on my head. In this matter, my wife and the wife of my guru stand on an equal footing. However, there is one difference. My wife demands from me the cost of pots broken, but the wife of my guru does not harass him in that manner. Just now, some pots were broken on my head. There is no dearth of food and water in a house, but I must compulsorily reimburse the cost of broken pots immediately. This is very troublesome to me. If I could get some money distributed during religious function as Sambhavana, today there would be no trouble. If it is not possible, then I must borrow the money from someone. I can only repay the loan whenever I get money through Sambhavanas. Out of the money received by way of Sambhavanas, I used a portion of it for the repayment of debts and the rest is handed over to her. This system continued for some time. However, in the recent times, she is taking away all the amount of Sambhavanas. Therefore, I am not able to repay the loans. People who know my position are no longer coming forward to offer me any loan. They are asking me, how will you repay the loans? Are you thinking that you can repay the debts when you receive money through Sambhavanas? That way is also closed now. As I am rich, no one is giving any donation. Moreover, they are ridiculing me. I must now pay the cost of broken pots. After scolding you sharply, my wife called me inside the house and said, there is a pilgrim in the street. You go along with him and bring a donation received at any place. Then only will receive food in the house. Then that henpecked husband told me that he would come along with me. He said that he knew very well all the houses of the Brahmins in the village and that they might get meals as well as money as dakshina. I was taken aback. I thought, Sripad Srivallabha, what is this horrible test? I went to each and every house in the village of Brahmins along with with that Brahmin. No one offered any means, not to speak of offering any financial help. Then that Brahmin who accompanied me lamented, till now I am only unlucky. As you joined with me, your fortune was also lost and you also became unlucky. Then I told him, Sri Dattatreya is the omnipotent Lord who provides food to all creatures. He dwells in Kuruvapuram in this Kali Yuga, assuming the name and the form of Sripada Srivallabha. I am going there to see him. Let us sit at the foot of that Audumbra tree, chanting his name. Let us leave it to the mercy of Sri Datta. The Brahmin agreed to that. Hunger was scorching in the stomach. We were chanting the name of Sripada Srivallabha in a feeble voice. While we were continuing the chant of the name of Sripada, servitors of the king of Vichitrapuram approached us and submitted. Sirs, the Yuvaraja is now able to speak. His muteness was removed. The king ordered us to immediately bring you. Therefore, you please come along with us. I could not disclose your miserable plight to those royal servants. I told them that I could not come alone and that they should take my companion also along with me. The servants of the king agreed to that. They took us with all respect, seated on the backs of horses. Seeing this, the residents of the Agraham were utterly amazed. The king said, Mahatma, even after knowing that you are a great scholar, I sent you with empty hands without honoring you. After you left, the prince fell unconscious. We did a number of services to him. After a long time, he opened his eyes and began uttering Sripad Srivallabha Digambara, Sri Datta Digambara. The prince disclosed that a very tall, extremely handsome yogi of 16 years appeared and placed holy ash in his mouth. Who is that yogi? Where is his residence? What is the relationship between Lord Sridatta and that yogi? Kindly tell us. I submitted with humility. In what way can I describe the glory of Sripada Srivallabha? He is actually an incarnation of Lord Datta. His form of incarnation is very extraordinary as that of the incarnation of Sri Krishna. What I heard about him is only very little. I am traveling to Kuruvapuram to have his darshan. I am visiting sacred places and holy men on the way. The learned people of Vichitrapuram wondered at this strange happening. They praised Sripada Srivallabha in various ways because the king now got his good nature back. They were rid of the troubles and that their Yuvaraja's mutism was cured on account of their austerities for 40 days. The king honored me with a donation of gold. The king's preceptor said, Sir, wisdom dawned on me after so many days. I realized that Shaivas, by abusing Vishnu and Vishwanath by abusing Shiva, are only amazing sin, and that no purpose is served. As a result of our abusing of God, we experienced all troubles. With or without knowing, we observed austerities for 40 days for propitiating Lord Datta. Thanks to the advice of Madhava Nambudri, we are very indebted to you. When we took leave of them, Madhava Nambudri also expressed his resolve to come along with us. We agreed. We three returned to the village of my Brahmin friend. We distributed the gold given to us by the king to the Brahmins of that Agraharam. After receiving gold, my friend's termagant wife offered us food. Afterwards, she became a devotee of Sripada Srivallabha. She turned docile, leaving her previous termagant temperament. Madhav Nambudri and I traveled towards Chidambaram. Sage Agastya appointed Parabrahma Shastri, a resident of Ryali village situated in the Godavari region, for the priesthood of Dharmasastha Ayappadeva. In the course of time, Vedic scholars from the village Nambura of Gartapuri were invited by the royal families ruling Malayala Desa. Many Brahmins left Nambura and propagated Vedic knowledge in Malayala Desa. These people are called Nambudri Brahmins. The ancestors of Adi Shankara also belong to Namburu. Nambudri Brahmins are famous for their religious observances and traditions, discipline and devotion, proficiency in mantra, tantra, and yantra practices. But Madhava Nambudri was an unlettered one. He was eking out his livelihood working as a cook in the house as of some Brahmins. He lost his parents in childhood. Close relatives did not help him. He had an unshakable devotion towards Lord Datta. After hearing about the incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha, he was eager to visit him as soon as possible. He heard that there were some great siddhas near Chidambaram. We visited Sri Palaniswami, an old hermit leading a solitary life in the hills. When we arrived at the entrance of the cave of Sri Palaniswami, he saw us and greeted us. Both Madhava and Shankar are coming together. What a fortune! We realized that he was a great Siddha who could call us by our names even without any acquaintance. Merciful Sri Swami said, my sons, it is time to cast off this body and enter into a useful body in accordance with the command of Sripada Srivallabha. The age of this body is 300 years. It is the order of Sripada that I should leave this body and live for another 300 years in a new body. Even the liberated ones during life and those who cross the circle of birth and death order of creation should return when Sripada orders them to come back. The great resolve that administers the entire creation has incarnated in the form of Sripad Srivallabha. His descent will always takes place in the subtle worlds of higher regions. To come in human form is rather rare. His is a comprehensive yogic incarnation. Incarnations emerging from a fraction of his infinite powers always take place on this earth to protect devotees. My son Shankara, you have mentioned about sage Kannada and his theory of atoms in Vichitrapuram. Please explain in detail the theory of atoms propounded by sage Kannada. I said, Swami, please excuse me. I know very little about sage Kannada and his theory of atoms. Whatever I said in Vichitrapuram came out of my mouth without any effort from me. Swami also knows that, I replied. Compassionate Sri Palaniswami explained in the following manner. The entire creation is made up of superior atoms. Due to the existence of particles much finer than atoms, electric current flows get generated. Thus, as the various planets rotate in different orbits around Sun, these finer particles rotate with incredible velocity around their central point in their respective orbits. All the emotional vibrations of living creatures are much subtler than the finer particles. Nothing will remain constant in this pulsating universe. Change is its nature. Changing every moment is its natural trait. The consciousness of Lord Datta is much finer and subtler than the above vibrations. Obtaining His grace is easy and also difficult. When each atom or particle is divided ad infinitum, each part of the atom becomes equivalent to a void. The combination of infinite Maya shunyas result in this creation. Just as matter is created, antimatter, which is entirely opposed to matter, also exists. When these two get mixed, the antimatter is extinguished. Matter can change its qualities and properties. The ideals of worship become alive and active after the ritual of initiation of life force is performed. Then they are rendered capable of fulfilling the desires of devotees. All mantras originate in Kundalini. The Gayatri mantra also manifested in it. People think that Gayatri mantra has 3 lines, but there is a fourth line for the Gayatri mantra. It is Paro Radashi Savodham. This 4-line Gayatri mantra indicates formless Brahmin. Kundalini Shakti creates this universe with 24 traits. There are 24 letters in Gayatri as well. Number 24 is also called Gokulam. Go stands for 2 and Kulam stands for 4. The form of Brahmin is beyond all changes and therefore it is indicated by the number 9. Number 8 is a form of Mahamaya. Sripada Srivallabha was asking people whom he liked. Do Chaupati Dev Lakshmi. Parabrahma is the Lord of all. He is the Pati of all. So the Lord Patidev stands for number 9 and Lakshmi stands for number 8. Do stands for number 2 and Cho represents the number 4. Instead of asking for do chapatis, he was asking strangely in a non-grammatical manner, do chapati Dev Lakshmi. In this manner, he was reminding the living beings about the mysterious number 2498, the Parabrahman and the Parashakti. of the Gokulam reside in the form of Sripada Srivallabha. Please note that Lord Sri Krishna is Srivallabha himself. We recognize that the Gayatri Mantra took the shape of his formless sandals. My son Shankara, 12 kinds of variations exist in the gross human body. The gross body, which can be experienced by all, is subjected to the influence of the gross sun. Through the practice of the Kriya Yoga discipline, one can obtain bodies with more and more subtler variations. These bodies of 12 different variations are under the influence of Dwadash Dasha Adityas. However, as Shripada is far superior to Dwadas Adityas, his divine gross body is endowed with wonderful divine vibrations. Even before his descent with a human body in Vichitrapuram, Sri Vallabh arrived in this place 108 years ago. He blessed me. He came here in the same form as he is now in Kuruvapuram. Where is the end of his divine place? Sometime after Sri Vallabh came here, great sages of the Himalayas worshipped Sri Badri Narayana in the great holy place Badri with Brahma Kamal flowers. I observed that all those Brahma Kamal flowers were falling on the auspicious feet of Sripada. He is beyond time and space. Sri Palaniswami concluded his narration. I had an undefinable experience on hearing the sacred saying of Sri Palaniswami. I requested him, Swami, what are Brahma Kamalas? Where are they available? I gathered from your words that Lord Datta would be elated if worshipped with them. Kindly clear my doubts. Description of Brahma Kamal flowers. Sri Palaniswami, in reply to my query, extended his merciful looks on me and said, Sri Mahavishnu worshipped Sadashiv with Brahma Kamals. That which was mentioned as the lotus springing from the navel of Sri Mahavishnu is also Brahmakamal. If Sri Datta is worshipped with lotus flowers, material and spiritual wealth will be achieved. As replicas of the Brahma Kamals in the celestial world, Brahma Kamals are found on earth in the Himalayas at an altitude of 12,000 feet. These blossoms bloom once a year. My son, they bloom only during midnight. This is another wonder. When it blooms, an excellent fragrance wafts over the entire area. All the great spiritual aspirants in the Himalayas eagerly wait for days and months to witness this rare spectacle. The flowers remain buried in snow from autumn to spring season. In the beginning of Chaitra month, the flowers spring out of the snow. The process of blooming takes place during the entire summer. The flowers fully bloom during midnight by the time of Shravana Shuddha Purnima. It is at this time that the snowy Shivlinga of Amarnath becomes visible. My dear Shankara, this wonderful miracle takes place now and forever for the benefit of spiritual seekers, great sages, and siddhas living in the Himalayas. All sins get destroyed by looking at the Brahmakamals. obstacles to yoga cease. This miracle confers instantaneous results. Therefore, yogi and ascetics attain higher status in their respective paths. After it blooms, the Brahma Kamal flower disappears. After all, those who were destined to see it had completely seen it. My son Shankara, I want to remain in complete penance for 10 days. If any distressed people come here, yourself and Madhava have to arrange for their darshan without causing disturbance to my deep meditation. If any dead one beaten by a snake is brought here, tell the people who brought the body as my order that they should leave the body in the waters of a river or that they should bury the corpse in the earth. Sri Palaniswami, seated there, went into a samadhi through penance. Madhava and I were arranging his darshan to distressed devotees in a calm manner. Some of the devotees supplied us with food materials. Madhava said that he would start cooking with the fallen branch of a coconut tree nearby. I agreed. Madhava went with another person. As irony of fate would have it, a cobra hiding behind the bough of the coconut tree had beaten Madhava. When he lifted the coconut branch to carry it, three persons brought Madhava to the cave. As the command of Swami cannot be violated, I buried the body of Madhava. People of that place cooperated with me. I sobbed. Madhava's pure heart, pure devotion, and unshakable faith on Sripada Srivallabha came to my mind, and I became very much perturbed. I consoled myself that destiny could not be avoided. After this sad incident, I witnessed another unfortunate incident. The relatives of a young 18-year-old person brought his dead body. They were crying and shouting with sorrow. The youth also died of snake bite. I informed that Swami was in Yogat Samadhi and that they should bury the body in accordance with the orders of Swami. The devotees there informed the visitors that my friend also died in a similar manner and that his body was also buried following the orders of Swami. The distressed people became crestfallen and were blaming their misfortune in many ways. Under the unavoidable conditions, they buried the new youth. Every day, three or four people used to visit Swami. They used to see Swami, who was in a state of samadhi, in a calm manner and were leaving without any disturbance. 10 days passed like this. On the 11th day, in the Brahma Murta, Sri Palaniswami became fully conscious and called for Madhava. I narrated to him all that happened, sobbing and crying. Then Sri Palaniswami consoled me and looked at me with his yogic power. That yogic look caused a great movement in my spinal cord and created an unbearable pain. Sri Palaniswami saw me again with a placid looks. My pain disappeared. He said, My dear, Madhava does not have the fortune of seeing Sri Vallabh with his physical body. For the last 10 days, his subtle body is in Kuruvapuram in the presence of Sripada. His desire is fulfilled irrespective of what had happened. The sportive plays of Srivallabh are unimaginable. No one can comprehend the mysteries of time, fate, and causes. That is possible only for Sripada. Sripada has entrusted me the responsibility of introducing life of Madhava into his gross body. We must perform that task immediately. All the grief which gripped me until now disappeared in a moment. What more did I want than Madhava regaining his life? We came to the place where Madhava was buried. The corpse was exhumed. I was assisted by two other persons. Sri Palaniswami asked us to move towards the group of palm Palamyra trees on the southern side and cry aloud, O King Cobra that had beaten Madhava, it is ordered that you should come to the presence of Sri Palaniswami. This is the command of Sripada Srivallabha. We followed the instructions of Sri Palaniswami carefully. Sri Palaniswami took four tiny seashells from his linen cloth. They were placed on four sides of the corpse. After some time, they rose from the ground to some height. Afterwards, they flew in the sky speedily in four directions, making a fluttering sound. Later, we saw a hissing cobra crawling on the ground. That snake was very restless. The four sea shells of Sri Palaniswami were fixed as if glued on its hood. Sri Palaniswami asked the snake to remove the poison from the body of Madhava. The snake sucked out the poison from the point in the body where it had beaten Madhava. Chanting the name of Sripada Srivallabha, Sri Palaniswami sprinkled water charged with the mantra on the snake. The snake hissed at the feet of Sri Palaniswami, circumambulated thrice, and retreated peacefully. The good results earned by offering food to devotees of Datta. Sri Palaniswami said, this serpent was a female in a previous life. She became old. She had some sin and also some virtue. Once she offered some food to a Brahmin who was a devotee of Datta. It is the nature of Datta to be pleased easily. The lady went to Yamaloka after her death. Yama Dharmaraja asked her, you have earned some sin and some merit. As you offered food to a Brahmin who was a Datta devotee, you received very great benefit. At present, Sri Dattatreya lives in the human world in the form of Sripada Srivallabha. He ordered us to make changes in your account of your merit and sin so that you gain great merit and take less sin. So Chitragupta made changes in your account. Do you want to experience the results of sin at first or enjoy the happiness of merit? For this, she replied that she would like to undergo at first the suffering on account of the small amount of sins and that she would enjoy the life resulting from merit later. Therefore, she took birth as a snake on this earth. As she had a mentality of harming others, she was biting all those who crossed her way. So she was accumulating more sin. My dear, there are four classes of snakes. The first type of snakes will not harm anyone, but simply take air as food and live like yogis. The second type of snakes will kill those whose shadow falls on them. They become angry when the shadow of anyone falls on them. The third class of serpent will try to keep away from the view of humans. They run away with fear if any person comes face to face with them. The fourth class of snakes will take a revengeful attitude against anyone and bite him even though no harm is caused to them by the person concerned. That lady was filled with rajas, so it bit Madhava, who came nearby. She had bitten him because of the merit earned in the previous birth. Madhava lost his life because of sin earned in his previous life. By the grace of Shrivalabha, that old woman was liberated from her serpent life and attained a higher world. As an embryo, the jiva lies in the form of serpent in the fetus stage. On account of Nagadosha, mortality of children takes place. Donating food to a yogi. Sri Palaniswami said, Sri Datta will be delighted for very modest services. If food is provided in the name of Datta to a worthy person, the donor derives immense benefit. A portion of the food essence transforms into mind. Mind, intellect, will, ego, and body of the donor of the food get filled with auspicious vibrations. By that, he will be endowed with the power to attract all objects in the creation. Bountiful plenitude of materials comes from the grace of Goddess Mahalakshmi. The whole creation is governed by subtle vibrations and fine regulation. Sri Palaniswami explained the greatness of Shripada. Chanting the name of Shripad brings wealth and prosperity as blessings of Sri Lakshmi. How can we describe the luck of those who obtain his grace? On account of the mercy of Shripada, Madhava remained intact even though he was buried in the ground 10 days before. Now Shripada is granting him life force. How can one explain the grace, mercy, and divine miracle of Shripada? Madhava was gaining consciousness. He asked for water for quenching his thirst. Sripalan Swami cajoled him and made him drink ghee. That ghee was also 100 years old. Madhava refused to drink ghee. Sripalan Swami persuaded him by promising to give him water after he drank ghee. After Madhava drank the ghee completely, he was given fruit juice. After some time, water was given to him. Description of Nagaloka. Madhava regained his life. Our joy knew no bounds. Madhava was telling thus, I reached Kuruvapuram in the subtle form. Sripada Srivallabha is very tall. He has large eyes. Compassion, mercy, and love overflow from his eyes continuously towards all creatures. As I was in a subtle body, I was invisible to other devotees there who were in gross bodies. Sri Vallabh ordered me to go to the middle of the island in Kurvapura, chanting the name of Sri Vallabh. I went into the depth from the middle of the island. I noticed that many fortified structures existed in the depths of the earth at its center point. I learned that it was Patal Loka. For those in gross bodies, only gross material forms will be visible. For those like me who go there in subtle form, the subtle world is visible there. The inhabitants there belong to Nagares. They have the power to take any form they like. They usually prefer to be in the serpent form only. I saw many great serpents there. Some serpents had thousands of hoods. Diamonds decorated their hoods. Light emitted from those diamonds. Some serpent remained in a posture of deep silence and appeared as if they were in a yogic trance. A wonder! There was a great serpent among them. It had thousands of hoods. On that serpent, Sripada Srivallabha was resting like Sri Mahavishnu. Some of the great snakes were reciting Vedic hymns. Sripada was listening to that melodious singing in a rapturous mood. The big serpent beside me was saying this: the magnificent glory of Sri Dattatreya. In the ancient Eon, Lord Datta was born as the son of Atri and Anusaya on Anusaya mountain in Chitrakoot of Nepal. He did not end his incarnation but moved in a subtle form in the Nilgiri mountain, Sri Shailya mountain, Sabharagiri hill, and Sayadri. These, those who wear directions as robe, those who are sky vested, are famous as Digambaras. Datta was absorbed in yoga in Sayadri. He taught Kriya Yoga to Gorakshanath, who was follower of Natha tradition. He appeared to a yogi named Jnaneshwar in a formless yogic form seated in Kechari Mudra. He surpasses time and place. For us who are in the presence of the Lord, past, future, and present time elements do not appear differently. Everything is an eternal present time for us. Viewing the Tatraya along with Anaga Devi. Another great serpent by my side said, my boy Madhava, we are Nagas and we are called Rishivaras. Siddhartha wanted to conceal himself after ruling over the universe for many thousands of years. He went underwater in a river and remained immersed in water for many years. Then he came to the surface. We, as his followers, remained there with the hope that he would return with us. We knew that he was trying to conceal himself from us. He again dived into the water and came out after many years. However, this time he had a goblet of wine in his hand. In another hand, he held a beautiful damsel of 16 years. We went away regretting that we misunderstood him as God, and he seemed to be a drunkard and womanizer. He disappeared. After he disappeared, our eyes got open. It occurred to us that the goblet of wine in his hand was an ambrosia of yogic ecstasy, and the beautiful damsel was Anaga Lakshmi Devi, who combined in herself the triumvirate of Lakshmi, Parvati, and Saraswati. We undertook a rigorous penance for his reincarnation on this earth. Siddhartha was compassionate and took the incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha in Pitikapuram. Description of Sri Kuruvapuram. The place where he went into the water for bath is now the sacred Kuruvapuram. Just as he was in watery samadhi, we were also in a state of yogic samadhi with final pulsations in this subtle world. Kuru was the ancestor of Kauravas and Pandavas. It was at this holy place that King Kuru was imparted divine knowledge. My dear Madhava, even Adisesha cannot describe the greatness of Kuruvapuram. The previous history of Sadashiv Brahmendra Swami. I paid obeisance to the holy feet of Sripada Srivallabha. Merciful Srivallabha spoke thus: my son, this divine form of my darshan is very rare and a great fortunate thing. One of the serpents that spoke with you will take birth as Jyoti Ramalinga Swami in the ensuing centuries. It will disappear also in the shape of radiant light. The other serpent that spoke to you will be born on the earth in the centuries to follow with the name of Sadashiv Brahmendra and demonstrate many miracles. Pitikapuram is very dear to me. My padukas will be installed in Pitikapuram. My padukas are going to be installed in the house of my maternal grandfather where I was born. The acts of my birth are divine and mysterious. They are to be kept as carefully guarded secrets. You visit the place in Pitikapuram where my padukas will be installed, and from there proceed to Patala Loka. There you meet the Kalanagas, which undertook rigorous penance. You come back after that. With smiles, Sri Palaniswami said, "My son Madhava, let us talk about the Kalanagas of Pitikapuram afterwards. We must immediately take bath and carry on meditation. This is the order of Sripada Srivallabha. Victory unto Sripada Srivallabha. Sripadarajam Sharanam Prabhate."